Meeting of the 102nd session of the Clark Undergraduate Student Council will come to order. Rebecca, roll call please.
Andrew.
Here.
Rory.
Here.
Rebecca. Here. Raymond.
Here.
Julia.
Here.
Sally. Jennifer. Aaron.
Here.
Will.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Scott.
Here.
Shaylin. Becca.
Here.
Delight.
Here.
Hannah.
Here.
Sammy. Radhika. Brittany.
Here.
Alex.
Here.
Mark. Savannah.
Here.
Lauren.
Here.
Ellen. Kevin.
Here.
Nick.
Here.
Thank you, Rebecca. Next we'll be moving into the reading of the minutes from last week. Are there any motions on the floor? Julia.
I move to waive the reading of the minutes.
There's a motion on the floor to waive the reading of the minutes. Is there a second? Second by Becca. Questions to the wording or points of discussion? Seeing that there are none, we'll be moving into voting. All those in favor of waiving the reading of the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? One. Would you like to re-vote?
Just kidding.
If there is one name, we would have to go back and reread them. So consider your. Any abstentions? Seeing as none, we're moving to voting. All those in favor, all right, so motion passes. All right, are there, next we'll be moving into the approval of the minutes. Well,
Move to approve minutes.
there's a motion on the floor to approve the minutes. Is there a second? Second by Savannah. Questions to the wording or points of discussion? Seeing that there is none, we'll be moving into voting. All those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as such, this motion passes. Next, we'll be moving into public comments. Are there any public comments at this time? All right, seeing that there are none, we'll be moving into financial matters with our grants committee report. Aaron?
I moved to allocate $500 to Day Street. Day Street's relatively, actually very new for the past 3 years over on campus. They're going to a conference in DC, which the way I understand it is basically a speaker conference / leadership conference on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. They don't have a budget right now, and they've already been doing quite a bit on campus. So we definitely like to fund it. I believe someone from J Street's here, maybe? No? Doesn't look like it. There's no one here, but that's basically the rundown of what your request is. It'll be from quarter 4, which will have roughly $21,000. So it's a good event. Good one to fund. We have a lot of money. So.
All right, so there's a motion on the floor to allocate $500 from quarter 4 to J Street. Is there a second? Second by Julia. Are there any questions to the wording or points of discussion? All right, seeing that there are none, we'll be moving into voting. All those in favor of allocating $500 from quarter 4 to J Street for their national conference, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as such, this motion passes. Aaron?
I moved to allocate $350 out of the equipment fund and $1,200 out of quarter 4 to PEC. They're holding, this is their final event for the semester. They usually, the way I understood is they usually break them up into smaller concerts. This year they've already brought in Soy X, they brought in the Growlers, who did very weird, but clever California band. And it was good, there's a good turnout. They're bringing in Lil B. I don't know if you guys know Lil B. Wonton soup? Apparently he's, I don't know a whole lot about him, but listen to him, and he's a lyrical genius. He's not, but he does some pretty funny YouTube stuff. He has a couple of his videos have like 10 million views. Apparently, as well as the shows, he does like some inspirational speaking, which is kind of cool, right? And it's Clark, we want some inspirational speakers, right? And then his shows are usually like, apparently they're usually like 3 hours. They're asking for, they're usually pretty much their whole budget on Lil B. They asked for $2,000 initially, but some of the food was for the rider fee, which is basically just food for Lil B. And we figured we could cover that. So the expenses are basically just for equipment, and for the expense of bringing Logan and Clark. So I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a fun concert.
All right, so there's a motion on the floor to allocate $350 from equipment and $1,200 from quarter four. Is there a second? Second by Alex. Are there any questions to the wording or points of discussion? Becca?
Is there anyone here to talk about it?
Matt's not here.
I'm here.
Oh, Matt is here.
Oh,
Yeah, Matt's here. If,
can you,
you'd like to talk.
Any
can
questions?
you explain, like, well, I just don't know what PEC is, and, oh, okay, and, when is it and where is it being held and all that?
Okay, PEC is Club Entertainment Committee, we're part of CPB. It's going to be tentatively on March 29th in the Grind, open to Clark students, maybe guests, maybe consortium students, we haven't decided that yet. Haven't set the formal request over yet, kind of waiting on you guys to vote on this so that we can figure out how much we want to send for a formal offer. But yeah, it's just show, open to Clark students, free for Clark students, should be fun. Any other questions?
Could you state your last name for a minute?
Manley, M-A-N-L-E-Y.
Nick?
I just have a clarification question. How's amount breakdown goes? 150 from equipment and the rest?
Yeah, so the equipment fund, you can only, it's self-explanatory, you can only give money for things that are equipment. This is
How do
for,
we cover the remaining gap of $450 equipment?
how do I cover the what? They requested 2,000, but we're only giving 1,000 or 1,550.
Hannah?
In the possibility that he doesn't accept your formal offer, what's your backup plan?
We have a few backup plans, but those are moves we would have to make after the fact, but we would try, and we had been in contact with a few other acts, big acts, who we would move to that point if that fell through.
Okay.
Would you please state your name for a minute?
Alex Maximovich, which is very MAKSYMOWICZ. Let me know if you need me to repeat any part of that.
That's okay, thank you.
Alex?
This might be for judiciary, I'm not sure. If they don't get Little B to go through, would they have to ask us again for money for another act, or would they be able to move it over to an act of their choice?
Katie?
You have no bylaw or regulation stating that any club has to use the money you give them for the event that they ask for it for, so
Their discretion at that point.
if Little B falls through, that money's already transferred into their account and they can use it as,
No.
Will?
I'm just curious, what is being purchased from you for the $350 equipment wise?
Sound tech, basically just mostly sound tech.
Sound tech.
I'm not sure, Matt, if you want to speak on that a bit more, maybe lights, I'm not sure what else.
I think the sound tech costs like $350,
Yeah.
so that would be that.
Are there any other points of discussion? Becca?
Did you think about having a request, or a PCF, and then you could deduct $300 and save for events that couldn't be used for PCF?
Yeah, we requested to did a PCF, which is we didn't, there's $300 that we didn't grant. And they did.
They did have that.
Yeah.
Alright, are there any other points of discussion? Seeing that there are none, we move to voting. All those in favor of allocating $350 from the equipment fund and $1,200 from quarter four to PEC, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as such, the motion passes. Aaron?
I move to allocate $150 out of quarter three to the Economic Society. They're screening a new club in Margin Club. The date is, check it quick. The date is on the 25th, so it's pretty soon. I basically what I understood, she was here, she'd like to talk on it. they're kind of just trying to expand the base that's in their campus society, the amount of people that come to meetings. So they want to hold a screening. And it's a very cheap price to fund. And quarter 3 is closing out, so it's something we're looking for without a doubt. And definitely do it. If you'd like to speak on it, Sheila, if you guys want to start.
Are there any questions, or should I just say?
Scott?
Just for a heads up, I was in the Finance Association for the Graduate School of Management. We had it, we showed that movie a couple weeks ago. So I don't know if that'll take away from your basis, or so just heads up on that. And also, it cost us for the rights of the movie like $350. Did you like find it somewhere else cheaper, or?
No, the thing is that the total amount for the movie was like $425, but like we actually like asked for funding from different sources. So like the student council was one of those, and like we also asked for funding from another co-sponsoring administration that actually gives money to like sponsor such projects for like clubs in the Clark community. So like we are aware, and we also are aware of the fact that the movie was screened like a couple of weeks ago. But like we also like try to make it even more public, or like try to attract new members for our club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Becca?
It's a really, really good movie, and I saw it when Scott showed it, and it was crowded. There were like hundreds of people. I feel like there were many people who filled. But it was really good. Learned a lot.
Okay. Are there any other points of discussion? Seeing that there are none, we'll be moving into voting. All those in favor of allocating $150 from quarter 3 to the Economic Society, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as such, this motion passes. Alright. Aaron, do you have anything else to report? Alright, great. So next we'll be moving down the agenda into the Finance Committee report. Scott?
Yeah, so no breaks for us. We are started the audit process already. So we'll get that to you in 2 weeks. We'll be presenting it right before spring break. That's it.
Woo!
Alright. So next we'll be moving into student life with the organizational committee report. Seeing that Shayla isn't here, Alex, would you like to report?
I know it says spring break transportation. We're discussing the possibility of doing transportation for spring break. It seems right now like it might be unlikely, but it might happen. And also we've discussed return transportation, so not just one-way transportation. I don't think we're any further than that right now, though.
Is there anything else to report?
No, nothing else.
Alright, great, thanks. So next we'll be moving into the Judiciary Committee with the Judiciary report. Nick?
Well, I guess it wasn't updated here, so with regards to grants and communications, internal procedures approval, so Judiciary reviewed them. I know it's a little bit delayed, but as you know, some changes happened, so there were these communication problems. We'll be reviewing elections internal procedures for next week, so expect that. But for this week, I would like to ask someone from council to make a motion so that you can approve grants and communications internal procedures.
Will?
I move to approve grants and communications internal procedures.
Alright, so there's a motion on the floor to approve grants and communications internal procedures. Is there a second? Second by Brittany. If there are any questions to the wording or points of discussion? Seeing as such, we'll be moving to voting. All those in favor of approving grants and communications internal procedures, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as, yes?
I thought so.
Alright, seeing as such, this motion passes. Alright, Nick, do you have anything else to report?
Nothing else?
Alright, great. So next we'll be turning to internal business with the operational reports. First thing, kind of like what Nick just noted, I've been working with the elections committee the past couple of days to work on our elections internal procedures. So we'll have those in for you guys to vote on by next week. The second thing is the student life bookkeeper bylaw. So what happens each year, following last year, student council created this position known as the student life bookkeeper. And the student life bookkeeper works with SLP to like help club transactions and help students get like reimbursements faster. We figured this would be like a really interesting, cool way to help students get their money back that they've that they've used for their group activities. But each year, beginning of February, we have to review the process and see, determine from which fund we want to fund this position. It's equal to 1% of our overall SAF, which currently stands at $700,000. So what we paid over the course year was $7,000. Student council can either choose to fund that through our cumulative surplus account or through the annual budget process. So over the course of the next week, the e-board is going to be working with members of the finance committee to determine where we want to pull that funding from, and we'll be further reviewing that bylaw, and then presenting our decision to council in the weeks ahead. So if any of you guys want to be involved in that process or know more about it, just let me know. So next is the Spring Day Committee. I met with President Angel this morning to discuss the recent events that transpired with Spring Day. And he's looking to kind of work with council and really have council lead the process after spring break of creating a committee consisting of faculty members, of students, and of professors, and really any member of the Clark community. And we're going to kind of like come up with a report to figure out kind of like where we want to see Spree Day going in the years ahead, and what we want, what most people want change, what most people want to keep the same, all those kind of things. Kind of talk about all those issues, and then that committee will then be able to report their findings to councils and to other Spree Day committees in the future. So that's a really cool opportunity. And if you guys want to be involved with that, let me know as well. Any questions? Julia?
Is this open only to council members or to any member of the student body?
Any member of the student body. Also moving into my last point of discussion, we have our university-wide admitted students open house in the Grind on this Saturday from 12:15 to 1:30 p.m. And every club that registers gets to have a table at the student group and organizational festival that they have in the Grind, and you're able to kind of talk to new admitted students and really tell them about what your group does. So if any of you guys want to be involved with that and kind of help run a table about and talk about student council, let me know after the meeting as well. It's really only an hour commitment on Saturday, so it's not that long. All right. So next we'll be moving into the Vice President's report. Rory?
So yeah, I guess I'll talk about the Student Sustainability Fund. I've kind of mentioned it vaguely the past semester and this semester. I think he said $20,000 last year from the club budget and everything. So they allocated their money they allocated it last semester, but the funds finally got transferred. So everything's set in stone. The projects were funded. The projects that were funded are these that follow. Take Back the Tap. I think Barry and Becca even kind of ran that. They were putting. You want to explain it?
Sure. So we're kind of in charge of. We are in charge of putting water filling stations around campus and residence halls. So if you saw there's 3 new ones that came in right after break. We're working with physical plant, so they put in 3 new ones during break, and then this semester there's 3 more that are going in. So there's one in the gym, there's one right out there by the bathroom, JC, and so you'll see them keep popping up places for like everyone that we do. Like we're working physical plants, I think they're gonna match it also, and then we're putting 1 in each residence hall, so 9 more, which will be coming in March most likely. Just like 1 per residence hall, and then also we're purchasing reusable water bottles like this for students at CUSC so that they can have an option to not have to use a plastic bottle and throw it away. Yeah.
Julia.
How are you going to be passing out those water bottles, like for everyone? Do you have to do something special to get one?
Yeah, well, so originally it was going to be, that's like going into more specific details. We're still kind of like going through a timeline phase. But originally it was going to be for every student, but then the idea came up that that might actually be a waste because a lot of students already have them, and we don't want people just to like throw them away like they do sometimes with their week 1 mugs. So what's going to happen is it might be like $1, so it'll be heavily subsidized. So it would be like $1 or $2 so that people are actually invested in, like they won't just throw it away. It'll be like, it's like a nice like $10 bottle, it's just that it'll be very heavily subsidized. And then also we're working with student leadership and planning and Sodexo so that the new incoming class during week 1, they're going to get reusable water bottles instead of travel mugs, yeah.
Okay, thanks. So that was $7,019.19 of the 20,000. A second project they funded, we're putting recycling bins in the JC. So if you go to the JC, I think they're in now.
Katie.
The recycling bins are actually going in tomorrow, and they're having a little kickoff event in JC for anybody who wants to check it out. If you're interested, come see me because I have the time in my email somewhere. But essentially what they're doing is they're taking out the little bins in each of the rooms and putting central bins in the hallways to encourage people to recycle properly. The little blue bins, I guess, become more like trash cans in the classroom. So they want to, have people bring their paper or their plastic to a central bin to get rid of.
So yeah, that's the other project, or one of the other projects, and that got $1,730. The third project was composting. I guess there's like a kind of composting group, people around who compost, and they're putting composting. They got like bins for more composting, so they're upping their game, I guess, their scale. They got $1,797. Choices. It is choices, right? Yeah. They got things called Diva Cups, which are alternative menstrual products, reusable. And so, yeah, and so they bought a bunch of those, and they're subsidizing them. You can go and pick them up, pay some money, like $15, $10, something like that, and grab yourself some of those at their office. They got $1,110. And then finally, the thrift store got $1,113 and a cent to buy like a bunch of racks and like a donation bin, so kind of helping them expand. So grand total that comes to 13,000-ish, something like that. So yeah, that's where the SAF money went. SAF money went to SSF, and the SSF got spent like that. And so I guess there's $7,000, which will, barring any further changes, roll over into surplus. And they're like redoing reapplications like right now for next year.
Aaron.
We were talking about also maybe making a bylaw, I talked to you about this, have a bylaw that might grants draw from the sustainability fund. Directly to support sustainability initiatives. Like, it'd be in a lot of amount of money, a fixed number of times a year. So we could just pull from it like ever. you would have to budget how many times would be cool, the amount of money would be cool. So I'm emailing Jenny right now actually and see what she thinks about it. I was just gonna raise it as a point of discussion, and see what you guys thought about it as well.
Becca?
I think it's a good idea if there's money that there's left over right now. Like, obviously, like, there's a lot of sustainability conferences, and of course, like, I'll be applying for money later, so, and other people will also. So I think it's a really good idea, like, it's not being used, then to,
Rory, do you have anything else to report? Or,
I can do this every time.
yeah, go for it.
Alright. And, because you can only drop them twice a year, right? It's each semester, and they're usually just bigger projects. That's what I understood.
and it might be like, under some campus.
Yeah.
Rory?
So the way that SF works, is, are you talking about, before that going here, are you talking about what you want to do? Or are you talking about how the actual?
No, I was more talking about how they function.
Would you like to know?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So, that referendum got passed last year, set up a council, board, I guess, of the vice president, which is me at this moment in time, and a bunch of other people that I selected with Randy Eisler, the head of sustainability office. There we go. So they oversee it kind of. That's in the bylaw, and then everything has to go. So they were in charge of advertising, and they pretty much they've got a system, their own system that they set up, but they're pretty much in control of it. They go through this process of people apply, they review the applications, they talk with an advisory board, and then give them the money, depending on what they decide and what they think is feasible. So there's not really they can withdraw anytime they want and stuff like that. There's no real set, but they're kind of in charge of how it gets figured out at this point in time from the bylaw. I'm sure you can read specifics, but that's generally how it works right now.
So Rory, do you have anything else to report?
That's it.
Alright. So next we're moving into the treasurer's report, right? Alright. Next we're moving into the secretary's report. Rebecca?
So because this was a council event, happened today, thank you for everyone who came out to do it. It was a huge success. I'll let Hannah talk more about that later. Also, after today's meeting, please everybody stay if you are an official member of student council. So that's everybody sitting here. Amy, sorry. And that will be a lot of fun. If you don't want to stay, you don't have to, but it'd be really cool if you did. Actually, you know what you do. You have to stay. Okay. Super special fun things will happen. Okay.
It's a cool surprise. Yes, I like it. Alright, so next we're moving into the elections committee report. Becca?
Is there anything you want me to do? So as of today, petitions are due, and there was a meeting with all the candidates running for e-board. And so that happened. So now if anyone wants to run, they can only run as a writing candidate, which will happen the day of the election. So that's what's up.
Okay. Alright. So next we'll be moving into the communications committee report. Hannah?
As was already said, we had cases with council today, and we got a lot of good and interesting feedback. And so we've gone through some of it, but we'll have a more comprehensive report of things that students really want us to get behind. And then also we are working on ramping up for elections and really trying to get a lot of student participation, voter turnout, and people to show up to the debate. And so I just want to reiterate that we will be having an obligatory session after the meeting, so we should.
Do you have anything else to report?
No, that's it.
Alright, great. So next we'll be moving into unfinished business, seeing that there's none, we'll be moving into new business. I just want to stress that, like I had already noted, the Admitted Students Open House, which is going to be this Saturday from 12:15 to 1:30, is really important. It's an opportunity to talk about council and like everything that we do to prospective students. And I remember a lot of people that I was able to meet, or that I met last year when I helped out with it. Kind of like ended up, joining council or, being involved with it, to some capacity. So it's a really, important and influential way that we could, get more members and, build our membership for, our years into the future. So that's really important. Seeing that's it, we're moving to last words. Does anyone have any last words? Katie.
You have a Boston bus this weekend. Who's gonna stop it?
What time is it?
Noon. You'll do it, thanks.
No one has a comment though. Listen, it really wasn't bad. Yeah, pretty good. Made some sense.
Sorry, a couple other things. I know y'all have stuff to do after the meeting, but can I see Raymond, Becca, and Andrew real fast after the meeting? Also, Sammy and Sally, who are just 3-day co-chairs, they're looking for some feedback from you. I'm really kind of sad they're not here tonight, but hopefully they'll be reaching out via email regarding space as well as plans for the day. So if they are reaching out, please give them your feedback. We're about 8 weeks, less than 8 weeks-ish away, which is a lot less time than it sounds like. So if you hear from them, please respond with some of their feedback.
Rebecca.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
There's a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second? Second by Hannah. Questions for the meeting, point of discussion? Seeing that there are none, we're moving to voting. All those in favor of adjourning the meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as none, this motion passes. All opposed? Any abstentions? Seeing as none, this motion passes.